ranking every SCAR in Phantom Forces. Coming in at last place, we have the SCAR SSR. I just feel like this is kind of a mid-tier DMR. There's nothing really too special about it. I mean, it's not bad, but I feel like it's not really special in any way. It does 55 to 47 damage with a head multiplier of 2, so that means it can't one-shot to the head at long range, which is it's really not that good. But yeah, I feel like this is definitely in the last place for the SCARs here. Coming up next, we have the SCAR PDW. This thing actually got a buff / nerf recently, which increased its long range damage from 19 to 20, but at the same time reduced a lot of its damage ranges and things like that. Also, I don't know why this thing's called SCAR PDW when it's in the carbine class. I feel like that's kind of weird, but this is definitely a big step up from the SCAR SSR, and I can find myself picking this up and enjoying it from time to time, but I feel like compared to the rest of the SCARs, it's not the best. As you can see, it drops off to 20 damage at 105 studs, which is not optimal at all. It's actually pretty bad. It also has a very low fire rate of 650, and it has a low penetration depth of 0.9 studs, so it's not really that special, which is why I don't really think this is the best thing in the game, but it's just kind of mediocre. It's kind of in the middle, I guess you can say. Coming up next, we have the SCAR L, which is probably a little controversial why this isn't any higher, but I will explain here in a minute. This thing can 4-shot all ranges, which is super nice. It has a also pretty slow fire rate of 650, but it can also 4-shot all ranges, which is very nice. No torso multiplier, so this thing is a 4-shot at close range too, so there's no 3-shot at close range. But yeah, this thing isn't too bad. It's definitely one of the best assault rifles, so it's not too bad. But the penetration depth is also pretty average at 1 stud, and it's also very low recoil. As you can see here, this is what the recoil looks like. So I mean, it's basically non-existent, but yeah, I don't think this thing's bad at all. I definitely recommend giving it a try. I mean, if you haven't tried it already, it is a pretty low rank, which is also one of the upsides of this thing. It also has a 9mm attachment, which I feel like I should mention, which makes it 3-shot to like 6-shot, I think, which it's not bad for close range, but I really wouldn't recommend it. I don't think it's that good, but that's also something to give a try if you just want to try something out for fun. So there's that. And coming up next, we have the SCAR H, which yes, I do believe this thing is slightly better than the SCAR L, which I will explain my reasonings here in a second. This thing does pretty high damage. I think it's like 42 to 32. Let me make sure real quick. No, it's 42 to 31, but it has a torso multiplier too of 1.1, so that's pretty good, which actually means with hollow point, this thing is a 2-shot to 4-shot, so that's something to keep in mind. Yeah, with hollow point, that brings it up to a 50 to 25. So that's actually pretty good. Of course, the hollow point does kill like the penetration depth. It brings it down to 0.75 studs, which is but this is something to keep in mind. And I also feel like I should mention the 7.62 attachment, which makes this thing a 3-shot to 4-shot to the torso. So 7.62 is also pretty good, which I think the recoil is it's definitely better than default, but it's not the best per se, but it's not too bad. And coming in first place, we have the Hammer IR, which is, I mean, yeah, it's technically the SCAR Hammer. I don't know why they ever changed the name to it, but you get the point. This thing is, in my opinion, the best SCAR right now, mostly because the damages are kind of but the fire rate has this ramp up mechanic to where like it starts at a lower RPM and gets to a faster RPM, which usually it's 650 to 900. But if you put on the muzzle booster, it's 702 to 900, and it actually ramps up twice as fast with the muzzle booster on, which is really good. So basically, essentially, in just like 1 second, it'll ramp up to 900. There you go. So it shoots at 900 RPM, does not too bad damage, and has basically no recoil. And it's also an LMG, so you get like 50 rounds. And I just feel like this thing is overall definitely the best SCAR in the game right now. Okay. Sure. But it also has an above average penetration depth of 1.4 studs, so that's also really good. But yeah, I think this thing is very, very good right now. And the ranges aren't too bad either. It's like it drops off to 20 at 170 studs, so it's not bad ranges at all. It's actually pretty good. I also know this thing, I think this is a higher rank. Let's see what rank it is. It's yeah, 72. So if you don't have this, I definitely recommend using the SCAR H or the SCAR L instead, because those are both really good. But yeah, this thing is definitely worth checking out. I'm not sure if it's really worth a pre-buy, but it's definitely worth maybe giving it a try in the test place and seeing how you like it first before you give it a pre-buy. But I definitely recommend pre-buying other stuff first, like maybe the AUG to a 7.62 or something like that. But the funny thing is, this thing actually used to be a lot better. I think it used to like 4-shot all ranges, and it used to have like no recoil, and that used to shoot pretty fast. But yeah, this thing is still really, really good. I think that about does it for today, so please be sure to drop a like, subscribe, and let's see if we can get a gazillion likes and subscribers on this video, and I'll see you guys on the next one.